The following is a live presentation of Retro Sports Network, home of the champions of the past, present, and or future. Good morning, afternoon, evening. My name is Ron Juckett. Welcome to the program for this 25th day of September 2025. Today is game number 2 of our best of 3 series between the 78 Los Angeles Dodgers and the 85 St. Louis Cardinals. The Cardinals won the opener in L.A. They technically had the better record in real life, but again, this was a blind draw. So the House of Tudor stood once again. Wasn't invincible, but the Dodgers could only get 3 runs off him, while the Cardinals touched Bert Hooton for 5. Today it is Don Sutton trying to save the Dodgers tournament at Busch Stadium. It's a rainy night in St. Louis as we get ready for this, and Joaquin Andujar gets the call for St. Louis. If St. Louis wins, then there will be no stream Sunday. That will be the makeup day. Can't do it tomorrow. Wifey has plans. So if there is a game 3 of this series, it'll be noon on Sunday from Los Angeles. So it is Joaquin Andujar and Don Sutton, 2 well-known gentlemen. Couple other changes. It'll be Cesar Cedeno as a DH for St. Louis today, and I forgot and Rick Monday is in the field for LA with the righty Andujar on the mound. So with all that being said, I'm pretty tired. We had an issue with our smoke detector at 2:45 this morning. So bear with me now as we get ready for game 2. Cardinals win, they win the series, and move on to the semis of our greatest hits tournament. Next! As Retro Sports Network presents the RSN Greatest Hits Tour today from St. Louis, Missouri, Busch Stadium. It will be the 1985 St. Louis Cardinals, champions in 2022, versus the 1978 Los Angeles Dodgers, champions of 2020. And today's game is brought to you by DigitalDice.com, the best darn podcast on the web for your sports simulation and replay needs. Find Dave and his guests today on Spotify, Spreaker, iTunes, or wherever else fine podcasts are listed. So it will be Joaquin Andujar, hello Greg, on the hill for the Cardinals. Joaquin went 21-12 in real life, started 38 games. He was their ace coming into the season. It was John Tudor who eclipsed all expectations and had that monster year. But Andujar, who was the hero of 1982, was the big gun in 88 or 85 as well. A 3.40 ERA for Andujar, 33 years old, fastball at 83, and a standard pitcher. .269 2/3 for Andujar, 265 hits, 15 homers, 82 walks, and 112 strikeouts. Again, lots of pitch to contact. Philip Reynolds, how are you? Greg rooting for the Cardinals. Davey Lopes will lead it off for L.A. at second base. Rick Monday, with the righty on the hill, will bat second and play center field. Reggie Smith, who was the big offensive bat for the Dodgers yesterday, is in right. He'll go third. Steve Garvey cleans up at first. Ron Say, the Penguin, as we're told to say, that's how the kids say it these days, will bat fifth and play third base. Lee Lacy, the DH, goes sixth. Dusty Baker in left will bat seventh. Billy Russell at short goes eighth. And offense being important and defensively being equal, Joe Ferguson gets the call again for L.A. behind the plate batting ninth. Andujar can give you 125 pitches. How you doing, Paul? Wet Thursday afternoon. And Ron Say Paul trusts. They're going to need it if we're going to play game 3 on Sunday. Terry Pendleton is a 9 at third. Ozzie Smith a 9 and a 7 at short. Tommy Hura 5 and an 8 at second as we set the Cardinal defense for you. Jack Clark a 6 at first. Vince Coleman is a 5 and an 8 at left. Willie McGee an 8 and a 7 in center. Andy Van Slyke, who hit the big 2-run homer for the Cardinals yesterday, is a 4 and a 9 in right. Tom Nieto gets the call behind the plate. He's a 5 and a 7. And Andujar is a 7 on the mound. I got the Cardinals. They are the home team. Lopes went 0 for 4 in Game 1. Andujar is ready. 79 degrees in St. Louis. The wind blowing out to left at 11, and there is a light rain. Bullpens did not go in Game 1, so everyone except for yesterday's starters, Tudor and Bert Hooton, are as fresh as a daisy. Yeah, I'm not really the CFL thing. Just why are they trying to be the NFL? The CFL is its own product. Pitch to Lopes. Davey swings, high fly ball, left field. Back goes Coleman, and Lopes pulls a Ricky Henderson. It's 1-0 LA. Right down the line, and it's 1-0 LA right off the bat. Jack Buck tells people not to go crazy, folks. Don't go crazy. Coleman turned and watched it go, and that's how this one started. You think, Greg, there'd be enough pushback to shove those things back? Doesn't make any sense. To shorten the field, shorten the end zones. And I like the Rouge. Paul. Rick Monday did not play in Game 1 in 78, 254, 19 homers, and 57 RBI. Andujar deals. Monday swings into shallow right. Van Slyke coming in and will make the catch. One away for Reggie Smith. Reggie went 2 for 4 in the opener. A home run and 2 RBI. They never even consulted the players or the fans. That sounds like a commissioner. But yeah, I mean, the center 55-yard line in the CFL was one of the things that made it unique. Unless there is a ton of NFL money coming in, why would you do that? Pitch to Reggie is a fly ball left center. McGee runs over and will make the catch, and there's 2 out for Garvey. Steve hit into a double play yesterday, scored a run and went 0 for 4. Andujar delivers. There's a ground ball to the Wizard. I'll throw to first to Clark, and Garvey is retired. So that will do. Half an inning in the books. Davey Lopes, a solo home run. Dodgers 1, Cardinals coming up. So Don Sutton, and that's a very young picture of Don Sutton, is 33. He went 15 and 11 on the real year with a 3.55 ERA. 34 starts for Tommy Lasorda's Dodgers. Throws a fastball at 86 and is a fly ball pitcher. Stevie's not my Padre. Sutton threw 238 in the third, 228 hits, 29 home runs. He walked 54 and struck out 154. Vince Coleman leads off and left for St. Louis. Willie McGee at center will bat second. Tommy Herr up to third today. He'll bat second. Jack Clark cleans up at first. Andy Van Slyke, a big home run yesterday, and Wright will go fifth. Cesar Cedeno is the DH. He'll go sixth. Terry Pendleton at third will bat seventh. Tom Nieto behind the plate batting eighth, and the Wizard, Ozzie Smith, will go ninth. Sutton can give you 130 pitches. Dusty Baker, a 7 and a 4 in left. Rick Monday, not a great defender, a 4 and a 3. Reggie Smith, a 5 and an 8 in right. Ron Say, a 7 at third. Bill Russell, an 8 and a 7 at short. Davey Lopes, a 10 and a 10 at second. And winner of the John Oates lookalike contest. Steve Garvey, not my Padre, is a 9 at first. Joe Ferguson, a 6 and a 4 behind the plate. Sutton is an 8 with a 1,000 fielding percentage. Coleman went 1 for 3 in game 1. He singled, walked, and scored. He even said in his press conference, the CFL commissioner, when he was in high school or college, in '87, he threw a pass that hit the goalpost. So given the chance, he'd been, oh, God. You certainly couldn't move the goalpost back if you put it in the back of a 20-yard end zone. But there's no real reason to radically change the CFL. Paul is playing his 55 NFL replay right now, Week 10. What are you doing in action? How are you playing it, Paul? The Browns lead the Giants, so Paul's about to get banned. 21-16 from the Polo Grounds. Coleman, as we said, 1 for 3. Going to swing here. There's a base hit, left center field. Monday cuts it off, and Coleman, with speed to burn, is on first. 49 quick decks. Cool beans. Willie McGee is 1 for 4. It's an interesting season. Marion Motley, yeah, isn't he? McGee stole a base and scored in yesterday's win. Sutton throws to first. Coleman back. Now we'll send him. Throw down to Russell, and Coleman has the steal. Vince takes a big lead off a second. 1 strike count to McGee. Fly ball left center. Back goes Monday, and Willie has put that off the wall. Coleman will score. McGee's in the second standing. Paul has got my voodoo doll out, and it's a 1-1 game. For Tommy Herr, who went 1 for 4 in game 1 with a single. I don't know if Motley was still there in 55 or not with the Browns. 55 is an interesting choice for an NFL season. Jim Brown's rookie year was 57. 58 would the greatest game ever played, that NFL championship game at Yankee Stadium. And Cleveland's pretty good. Pat Summerall with a walk-off field goal in the snow, I believe, to send the Giants to that final. Pitch to her. Tommy swings. That's a base hit into left field. McGee around third will score without a throw, and it's already 2-1 St. Louis. For Jack Clark, who was 1 for 4 yesterday with 2 RBI. Paul trying to figure out how to set my smoke alarm back off in here. Throw to first, and Herr is back. Tommy goes. Throw down to Lopes, and Herr is out. He got a great jump, but the Dodgers pitched out, and there's finally one away. So 1-ball count after the pitch out to Jack Clark. Base hit right field. So Sutton has none stuff. 4th hit for the Cardinals. Here's Andy Van Slyke. Andy singled and homered yesterday. Drove home 2 and scored. Struck him out, finally 2 away for Cesar Cedeno. He came over late in the year, hit .434, 6 homers, and 19 RBI. Got him. So Sutton struggles in the first. He strikes out 2 in the end, however. However, the Cardinals put up 2 runs on 4 hits and no errors. They leave on 1. And after what in game 2, it's 2-1 St. Louis. So Say, Lacey, and Baker to face Andahar here in the second. Ron 1 for 3 yesterday. He singled, walked, and struck out. And Andahar got him on an 0-2 looking. For Lee Lacey, who doubled home a run yesterday. 5-3 the final in Los Angeles. Still a light rain here in St. Louis in game 2. In the left center, McGee coming in and will make the catch. 2 out for Dusty Baker, who went 1 for 4 yesterday. Is this Appa? No, I think he's doing 49 quick decks. Baker, slow bounder down to Clark, over to Andahar. The Dodgers go quickly and quietly in the second. After an inning and a half, Cardinals 2, Dodgers 1. So Pendleton, Nieto, and Smith to face Sutton. Terry 0 for 4 yesterday. Grant Fine's wonderful game, 49 quick decks, also does hockey. And does a highlight version of hockey that Mr. Gardner has shown off quite a bit. Pitch to Pendleton. There's a high ground ball to Russell. Over to Garvey for the out. This is a hard AstroTurf here in St. Louis. And a bit wet with the rain. And so it's going to come to the infielders a bit quicker than it would on the slow, meandering grass of Los Angeles. Tom Nieto hit 225 and 85, 2 triples and 34 RBI. Sutton deals, and there is a base hit into left. Baker will play it off the wall. It skipped past Dusty, and Nieto has a double. So everything that can go wrong for the Dodgers has so far. Here's Ozzie Smith. Ozzie 1 for 3, a single, an RBI, and a run scored. Dave makes that hockey game sing, doesn't he, Paul? Everything being on a track. Hockey is a hard sport. How you doing, Scotty, to get right on the table? Pitch to Ozzie is a little looper to say, and the Penguin makes the catch. 2 out. Opening 9 for Sutton. Shaky, 31 pitches, inning in 2/3, 5 hits, and 2 strikeouts. Vince Coleman singled, stole a base, and scored in the first. There's a ground ball to Lopes, who can't make the play. Well, Davey led off the game with a home run, and he is giveth to the Dodgers and now taketh away for Willie McGee, who doubled home Vince Coleman in the first. It's only fun if the Red Wings are winning. So, big change in Stratomatic hockey. I don't know if any of you play that. Pitch to McGee. There's a slow bounder to Garvey, who will take it to the bag, and McGee beat it out. How about that? Garvey meandered a little bit too much. And throughout Bush, you can hear the ding that Garvey is free to roam about the country. McGee put on a mad dash, does his best Usain Bolt, and it's now 3-1 St. Louis. Tommy Herr had an RBI single his first time up. So Coleman and McGee on. 2 out, 2 on. Sutton deals. Popped up. Ferguson to the screen. And we'll do it again. A ball and 2 strikes. So do any of you play strat hockey? The 1-2. There's a ground ball to Sutton. He'll throw it to Garvey, and that will do. That's a big run. The error ends up being costly. 2 hits. Cardinals are left on 3, and after 2 in game 2, Cardinals 3, Dodgers 1. All right, Paul, big rule change for this year. They have changed the empty net rule. Used to be, for those of you who don't play, that the only way you could score on an empty net is if you rolled a goalie rating without the plus. It had to be a straight goalie rating. Now, you score an empty net goal on any shot. That's a big one. So that's the new rule if you choose to use it. So any shot, if you're shorthanded on the empty net situation, is now a goal. Bill Russell is 1 for 4. He doubled in game 1. And a higher deals, and Russell draws the walk. That'll bring up Fergie. Joe went 0 for 3 with a strikeout in game 1. Andahar walked him on 4 pitches. No Patrick Stefan? I know it's a hockey player. That's about all I know. Pitch to Fergie. There's a ground ball to Ozzie. Her for 1, Clark for 2. Ozzie just knows how to play this artificial surface, and he actually was in front of the ball by the time it got there. So 2 quick out for Davey Lopes, who started this game with a home run. Andahar opening 9, 34 pitches, 2 2/3. The lone hit, the solo homer from Lopes. A walk and a strikeout. To first, Clark. And that will do. After 2.5, Dodgers run themselves out with a double play. No runs, no hits, no errors. Cardinals 3, Dodgers 1. So Clark, Van Slyke, and Cedeno to face Sutton here in the third. Jack singled his first time up. Fly ball, left field. Baker. 1 out. For Andy Van Slyke, who struck out his first time up. Popped up. Reggie Smith going in, Lopes going out. Davey made the catch, 2 out. Paul, was there a reason why Grant did 55? Cedeno 0 for 1. And he struck out his first time up. There's a ground ball past Lopes into right field. So Reggie throws it back in. 7th hit for the Cardinals with 2 out here in the third. Terry Pendleton is 0 for 1. Base hit, right field in front of Reggie Smith. Cedeno on his way to third. He is a good man, and I loved it when he ran it, when he finally won as a manager. The year I covered the Nationals, he was the manager and took the scapegoat for them losing Game 5 in Chicago that year, 2017. Oh, 55 CFL. Maybe one to mirror the seasons. I think Tommy's going to go get Sutton now. You got everybody. You're pretty much at the point where you are right down to brass tacks. And we'll bring in Bob Welch. So Sutton couldn't make it out of the third. Bob Welch, kind of a Swiss Army in 78. Out of the pen 10 times, started 13, 7-4 with a 2.02 ERA. Welch is 21, throws a fastball at 88, and is a ground ball pitcher, which should work in this part. 111 in the third innings, 92 hits, 6 home runs, 26 walks, and 66 strikeouts. Remember, no off day. If the Dodgers come back and win, technically it would be June 6th. So a quick flight back to the coast. Nieto doubled his first time up and scored. Pendleton and Cedeno on, and pitch out, nothing going. Sam Echeverry was great for the Owls in Montreal, but they could not overcome the Eskimos dynasty in the mid-50s. Okay. You never know. Certainly not talking about that in a fortnight stream. Pitch to Nieto. There's a bounder to Garvey. Steve will take it to the bag, and that'll do. No runs, 2 hits, and no errors. The Cardinals have left on 5. And after 3, it's 3-1 St. Louis. Tim remembers Greg Patrick Stefan for only 2 things: being a number 1 overall pick and blowing the easiest empty net goal ever. Yeah, we were talking about the CFL rules and how we don't like them. Rick Monday is 0 for 1. Monday, Smith, and Garvey to face Andahar here in the 4th. Slow chopper to first. Clark makes the out. The rain has stopped here in St. Louis. 75 degrees. Winds blowing out to left at center at 11. Now that's interesting. A CFL-UFL merger. I think the CFL's a healthier position than the UFL. Reggie Smith is 0 for 1 today. And that will be over Clark and in front of Van Slyke, and that's a base hit. So Smith has a base hit. That's the second hit for L.A. Here's Garvey, who was 0 for 1. Go Guardians. I feel for Tiger fans. I mean, congrats to Cleveland for what you guys have done, but I feel for Tiger fans. Pitch to Garvey, popped up, left field, or third base side. Pendleton is there. 2 out for Ron Say, who struck out his first time up. In the right center, McGee, a long way to run and nowhere to hide. After 3.5, no runs, a hit, no errors. The Dodgers finally leave on a runner, and after 3.5, it's the Cardinals 3, the Dodgers 1. So Ozzie Smith, Vince Coleman, and Willie McGee to face Bob Welch, who is in relieving for Don Sutton. With a snap throw on Tuesday and the nonchalanting a foul pop-up. Yeah. I agree, Greg. There probably are some college teams on both sides of the border that could beat some of the UFL teams. Absolutely agree. The Wizard to Lopes. 1 out. Vince Coleman is 1 for 2. He has singled, stolen a base, and scored. Going to drop one down here, right to Welch. Coleman is running, and Lopes will make the play. So 2 out for Willie McGee, who's had himself a day. He has 2 RBI and a single and a double. And in the short series, he is 3 for 6. Goes the opposite way to third. Say across the way to Garvey, and McGee is safe. I told you this Cardinal team was dangerous. Yeah, this isn't a Mark Shop shot. Actually, I think this is the one we used for when we did 85. A rare morning picture of Bush. Tommy Herr has an RBI. He's 1 for 2 today. Guardian staff has only allowed 36 runs in their last 21 games. That's good. Laval's only in a football program for just 20 years, and they've already won 10 national championships in Canada, the Vanier Cup. Now, they play on an American-sized field, right? Andy went in 83, Mets and Cards. Never made that to St. Louis. My uncle was a huge Cardinal fan. Absolutely huge. Pitch to her is a fly ball to right. Back goes Reggie. That is well hit, but Reggie will be there, and that will do. No runs, a hit, and the Cardinals are left on 6. Keep an eye on that as we move along after 4. Cardinals 3, Dodgers 1. They don't play an American-sized field? It'll be Lacey, Baker, and Russell here in the 5th. Lee is 0 for 1. Struck him out, 2 for Andahar. Got him on an 0-2 curve. Dusty Baker is 0 for 1. There is a ground ball to third. Pendleton across the way to Clark for the out. If the Cardinals win today, Monday at noon Eastern, Game 1, Yankees-Mariners. 49 Yankees, 0-1 Mariners. Billy Russell walked his first time up. Andy pretty much took the Ron Juckett playing in college. Played a lot of Strat. I didn't do a lot of pool, but I did a lot of Strat. Okay, they don't play an American-sized field. Russell, the third. Pendleton across the way again to Clark, and Bill is retired. Clark 1 for 2. Oh, halfway home. How about that? Dodgers getting skunked halfway through on a rainy day here in Burlington. 3-1 Cardinals. My French dip brother and I took similar steps, absolutely. Joined us late. Cardinals won game 1 in LA 5-3, and since this is a best of 3, they are 12 outs away from winning this series with a 3-1 lead today. With 3 runs, 9 hits, no errors for the Cardinals. A run on 2 hits and an error for LA. And Scotty reminds us that Simon Fraser, and it's pronounced Fraser, not Frazier, is a NCAA Division II program in Canada. It's also in the same conference as Western Washington, isn't it? Anyway, here's how he got here. Davey Lopes did his best Ricky Henderson impression. Second pitch of the game was torched for a home run. Then the Cardinals got back. Willie McGee doubled home Vince Coleman in the first to tie the game at 1. And then Tommy Herr singled home Willie McGee to make it 2-1. In the second, McGee again singled home Tom Nieto to make it 3-1. And so Don Sutton was chased 2 2/3, 8 hits, 3 runs, 2 earned, and 2 strikeouts on 59 pitches. Bob Welch in relief, an inning and a third and a hit. And a high 5 innings, 2 hits, the home run to Lopes. He's walked 1 and struck out 2. I think Simon Fraser still plays in the States. Jack Clark is 1 for 2. And he walks. So Welch has thrown 20 pitches. He can throw 70. Andy Van Slyke is 0 for 2 with a strikeout. Clark not a threat to steal. This might be 2. Russell, Lopes for 1, and Garvey for 2. So Van Slyke, a 6-4, 3 double play, 2 out for Cedeno, who has singled and struck out. 1 for 2. Fly ball left center. Monday going back. Will make the grab, and that takes care of the Cardinals in the 5th. They do not get a hit. No runs, no errors. After 5, St. Louis 3, Los Angeles 1. Oh, they did come back to Canada for a few years with little success. What is the primary college sport up there? Joe Ferguson is 0 for 1. Lopes and Monday to follow. Andujar starts the 6th, and that's a base hit to right. Van Slyke will throw it back in. So the 3rd hit for the Dodgers. Here's Lopes. Davey hit that solo home run to start the ball game. 1 for 2. To 3rd, Pendleton's got it. Only play is to 1st. Lopes is out on a bang-banger. Oh, that was close. Davey took a look over to 1st, but that arm was up. 1 out for Monday, who's 0 for 2. In 2 weeks, the Battle of '88, the Red Sox and the Reds. And then the last series, the '56 Yankees. I think I said the Yankees and the Mariners. I think it might be Yankees Montreal. Fly ball, right field. Van Slyke will make the catch. Ferguson back to 2nd and will hold. Simon Fraser plays in the Great Northern Athletic Conference with all U.S. opponents, including Western Washington. Sort of like Justin Bieber. Okay. In 68, the Packers drafted kicker Dave Cutler, and he pulled a hammy and was cut. He would become the all-time leading scorer in the CFL during his career and won 6 Grey Cups. Edmonton? Wouldn't have to change the colors on his jacket. Reggie Smith is 1 for 2 with a single, 2 out, and a hard deals. That is slashing to right, but Van Slyke is there. He'll dive and can't get there. Ferguson around second will score. Smith is in with a double, and it's a 3-2 ball game. For Garvey, who was 0 for 2. Ha! Wow, I got that right. The 6 Grey Cups gave it away. So the Dodgers have cut the lead to 1. Nieto and Andahar have a word. Joaquin delivers. That's a ground ball to Clark. Underhands it to Andahar, and that will be the inning. However, the Dodgers get a run on 2 hits, no errors. We go to the bottom of the 6th here in St. Louis. Cardinals 3, Dodgers 2. Edmonton is where the Packers got their color scheme from. Oh. So Lombardi was a fan. Terry Pendleton, Tom Nieto, and Ozzie Smith to face Welch here in the 6th. The Lorenzo spirit is telling me to talk more about the Dodgers. That's up the middle. Lopes stabs it. Throws to Garvey, 1 out. For Tom Nieto, Tom 1 for 2. A double and a run scored. As much as Scotty roots for the Dodgers, and as many of you did in 56 against the Yankees in the World Series, I have never had anybody as rabid a fan of a team as the way Lorenzo was for those 78 Dodgers. There's a ground ball to Russell. He's got it. He'll throw to first, and Nieto just doesn't have that speed. 2 out. Ozzie Smith 0 for 2 today. He sure drank his bottle of Maldito. Yeah. Oh, yeah, he did. Oh. Our friend David, rail fan, has been watching the 78 replay, and will bring up stuff that I talked about 5 years ago, and I don't remember what I did 5 days ago, let alone 5 years ago. And, yeah, Lorenzo got away with murder in those chats. Pitch to Ozzie. Struck him out. First for Welch. We go to the 7th. Welch has kept the Dodgers in the ballgame. No runs, no hits, no errors. After 6, 3-2, St. Louis. Yeah, I mean, he was a good guy. He paid me a lot of money, too. Let's see. Paul says, 77, 78 Dodgers were your team as a kid. I was the only Dodgers fan in the school of Yankee apologists. And still bitter about Reggie Jackson's hip. You're not the only one, Paul. When Lombardi was hired in 59, he was scouting in Canada, Greg says, and went back to Green Bay and said, why are we wearing brown and yellow? Yeah, I knew that he also added the G to the helmet. Lombardi was so influential, they named the trophy after him with the champion gets. Ron Say 0 for 2 with a strikeout. Ground ball to her. Tommy throws to first, and Say is retired. 1 out for Lacey, who is 0 for 2 with a K. Then Lee draws the walk. He now is the tying run for Dusty Baker, who is 0 for 2. Lee not a threat to steal. Dodgers broke my heart, those 2 falls. Right center, McGee, way back there, and made the catch. That was a rainmaker. So 2 out for Russell, who was 0 for 1 with a walk. And he walked Russell. So now the go-ahead run is on for Joe Ferguson, who is 1 for 2. He has singled and scored in this one. That run came in the 6th. So 2 out in the 7th. Andujar kind of meandering along, although the heart of the Cardinal lineup is due up in the bottom of the 7th. Fergie swings. That's a base hit to right. Van Slyke's got it. Lacey ties the ball game. Russell into third. It's 3-3. So here comes Lopes. Davey Homer to start the game. Todd B at his Action PC Greatest Teams project. The 77 Dodgers are leading the NL West. That was the year they had the 430 home run hitters. Lopes trying to put him ahead. The leading run is on third and Ferguson on first. Left field. Coleman. That's well hit, but will stay in the yard. Stretch time. We're tied to 3. So Lou Groza steps out. The ball on the Giant 3. It is 23-21 New York. .50-50, huh? So do you think you can get 3 yards on a run or 3 points from Groza? Hope Springs Eternal in Toronto as well as the Guardians are. Yeah, the Blue Jays have not played very well. Anyway, Lance Routzen comes in to pitch for the Dodgers. He's 25, 2-1, a 2.93 ERA, 43 games in real life, 4 saves, fastball at 85, and an extreme ground ball pitcher. Coleman 1 for 3. They're playing for the bunt. We're going to swing. 3 runs, 5 hits, an error for the Dodgers. And they've made an error and left on 4. The Cardinals, 3 runs, 9 hits, no errors, and they have left on 6. 50-50? I think you got a kick, but Coleman swings away. Ground ball to short. Russell to Garvey for the out. 1 away for Willie McGee. Willie, 3 for 3 today. 2 singles, a double, 2 RBI. And Uvududal out in Washington. Routzen deals. Base hit right center. Extra bases for sure. Monday goes to get it. McGee has 2. He's on his way to third to throw to Say, not in time. If somehow McGee could homer, he'd hit for the cycle. So the go-ahead run is in on third. 1 out for Tommy Herr, who was 1 for 3 with an RBI. So Groza on for the kick. Roll a 13. Roll a 13. So here's her. Go-ahead run is on. Fly ball. That will give St. Louis the lead. Monday will make the catch. McGee goes back to tag. He's running a good throw home, and it's not in time. The Cardinals go back up 4-3. How you doing, Mike, in the truck? I've never seen a runner thrown out trying to get a triple either, Todd. Greg, as a Giants fan, I take my wins any way I can get them. Jack Clark, 1 for 2. A single and a walk. Clark swings, left center field. Back goes Baker. Back goes Monday. Off the wall, and Clark is in with a double. Routson didn't really work all that well, did it? It's always that kind of hesitation when you have a relief pitcher who can come in and shut a team down like Welch did. And then the next guy won't do as well. Still only a one-run game. You got to get Andy Van Slyke, who's 0 for 3 with a K. And if that happens, pretty much all is forgiven. You got Monday, Smith, and Garvey to face Andujar in the 8th. It is good, and the Browns win. The Giants' push to the NFL title game has been hurt. They fall to 5-5 and are now third behind the Redskins and the Eagles. And if you must know, the roll 1-12 was going to win it was a 5. And so congratulations to the Cleveland Browns. Sorry. Ferguson and Routson have a word. Lefty versus lefty here. Van Slyke draws the walk. That's right. It's a 12-week season, isn't it? So here's Cedeno. 1 for 3. He has singled and struck out. Clark on second. Van Slyke on first. You're welcome, Greg. That is a ground ball to Garvey. Over to Routson, and the inning is over. But the Cardinals get the go-ahead run on 2 hits and no errors. Again, they have left out 8. Left on 8, rather. After 7, they lead it 4-3. So Andujar, 28 batters deep, 106 pitches, 7 innings, 5 hits, a home run. He has walked 3 and struck out 2. And with the fact that no one from the Cardinals' bullpen is gone yet, we'll give Andujar a base runner and have him call it a day. Monday is 0 for 3. Yeah, and the playoffs amount to the title game. Unless there's a tie, and then they'll do a divisional tiebreaker. Cleveland in the West or the East? Monday swings a chopper to first. Clark, 1 out. For Reggie Smith, Reggie 2 for 3 today, 4 for 7 on the series. A single, a double, and an RBI. Right center, McGee, 2 out. For Garvey, who is 0 for 3. And again, this is much more just for fun. You can't really tell who the better team is in a best of 3. Popped up. Ozzie makes the catch. We go to the bottom of the 8th. No runs, no hits, no errors. Bottom 8, Routson in to face Pendleton, Nieto, and Smith. Cardinals 4, Dodgers 3. Oh, they're in the East and struggled 3-6-1. Oh, wow. So that was a huge win for them. And are we at the point where ties are... No, ties are discounted when it comes to standings for the playoffs. I think it was the 70s before it was a half win, half loss. Struck him out. And here comes the knuckleballer, Charlie Huff. Charlie, a pure reliever for the Dodgers in 78, 5-5, a 3.28 ERA, 55 games, 30 years old. When he does throw the fastball, well, we'll pretend it's at 89. And a ground ball pitcher. 93 in the third, 69 hits, 6 home runs, 48 walks, and 66 strikeouts. Scotty, what did you think of him as a reliever? It's so interesting that you would put him in a position where, in a pressure situation, but those numbers are pretty good. Nieto, by the way, 1 for 3 with a double and a run scored today. 4-3, Cardinals, 1 out, bottom of the 8th. Base hit, left field. That got past Russell. Baker picks it up. Say should have had it. He pitched well in the replay, too. I just have flashbacks to Timmy Wakefield in 2003, which wasn't the first time they tried to use him as a closer. I think they tried that in 98 before they settled with Derek Lowe. Ozzie Smith is 0 for 3 with a K today. Is Charlie still with us? Up the middle, Russell. Lopes for 1, Garvey for 2. Oh my goodness gracious. What a play from Bill Russell. A backhand throw to Lopes. And we'll go to the 9th. It'll be Say, Lacey, and Baker. But it won't be Andahar. It's going to be Jeff Lottie. So Lottie trying to close this one out for Whitey Herzog. 29 years old. Fastball at 89. And a standard pitcher. 5-2 for St. Lou with a 184 ERA. In 52 games, 19 saves, 68 and a third, 63 hits, 3 home runs allowed. In 85? I did limit the roster to 25. 26 walks and 41 strikeouts. Huff is 77 and living in Hawaii. Yeah, he's still pitching. Say, Lacey, and Baker to face Lottie here in the 9th. La-dee-dee, la-dee-da, la-dee-dee, la-dee-da. 1 to tie, 2 to go ahead. Right field. Van Slyke. 1 out. He's not there. So, nope, no Todd Worrell. Lacey is 0 for 2. He has walked, struck out, and scored. 4-3 the score. 1 out in the 9th. Fly ball, left field. Back goes Coleman. Well hit, and we are off the wall. That missed by an eyelash, and Lacey's into third with a triple. I think he was the pitcher covering first when in the comeback. So here's Dusty Baker. Infield in. Baker 0 for 3. Dodgers trying to tie this up in the 9th inning. If they do, Coleman, McGee, and her. Lottie deals. Ground ball to Ozzie, throws to Clark, and there's 2 out. So now they'll play back. Here's Russ. He has walked twice and is 0 for 1. So last chance saloon here. Cardinals get the 27th out. They're moving on. If the Dodgers extend the game, then we'll see. Lottie, deep breath. Base hit right center. And that goes all the way to the wall. Van Slyke will throw it in. Russell has a triple, and the Dodgers have tied at 4. So that'll bring up Joe Ferguson as Lottie blows the save. Fergie lists 2 for 3. He has singled twice, scored, and driven in a run. So 4-4 the score. Lottie, he deals. Fly ball left field. Back goes Coleman way back there and off the wall. Russell scores. Ferguson has a double, and the Dodgers have gone up 5-4. And Billy North will pinch run at second. The Dodgers, voracious students of the D. Scott Howard just close your eyes and swing method, have come back. Todd Worrell's right there, Ron. And he'll come in to pitch. He was the Rookie of the Year in '86. 3-0, a 2.91 ERA, 17 games, 5 saves. 26 years old, an extreme fly ball pitcher, and the fastball at 91. Must be that was the Achilles heel for St. Louis. I mean, they used a lot of people to save. 21 2/3 for Todd, 17 hits, 2 homers, 7 walks, and 17 strikeouts. And I just looked to see who had the most saves. Lopes, 1 for 4. His home run to lead off the game, the 1 hit. Someone want to resuscitate Scotty? So North, the pinch runner on second. As Joe Ferguson opens up a cold Budweiser, it was his double that gave the Dodgers the lead. Pitch to Lopes, and Davey draws the walk. Dodgers would love another run here. Rick Monday is 0 for 4. Worrell deals. Popped up. First base side. Clark. Going to the screen over there and runs out of real estate. The count is 0-2. Worrell deals, and there's a bouncer to Clark. We'll take it to the bag, and that will do. We go to the bottom of the 9th. The Dodgers aren't done yet. They get 2 on 3 hits and no errors. To the bottom of the 9th we go. They lead the Cardinals 5-4. So Huff stays in. Coleman, the white-hot Willie McGee, who, by the way, if he homers, hits for the cycle, and Tommy Herr for St. Louis in the 9th, and if anybody should reach, Jack Clark. These 4, or those 4, have 8 of St. Louis's 12 hits. Yet Denkinger was the umpire that blew that one. I remember. Someone wake up Scotty. Coleman will swing. Struck him out. Huff knuckled him at 69. 1 away for McGee, who has a single, or 2 singles, a double, and a triple. He has driven in 2 of St. Louis's 4 runs and scored 2 of St. Louis's 4 runs. Fly ball to right, Smith. And now we're down to last chance saloon for St. Louis. So Sunday, noon Eastern. If Tommy Herr doesn't reach, 1 for 3, he's driven in 2. So Los Angeles 1 out away from going back to Hotel California. The Dodgers, ain't they huff enough? What was it, the Fabulous Thunderbirds? Ain't I huff enough? Yeah, and 110 RBI, but when you got Coleman and McGee in front of you with speed, all you got to do is make contact and they're running. Got him, and the ball game is over. We'll see you Sunday. Ain't that huff enough? And for the Dodgers, it is. Yeah, and Ozzie batting 9th. I mean, you got your chances. And so the Dodgers are all drinking Slim Fast and eating lasagna. There will be a game 3 of the series Sunday. They have beaten the Cardinals 5-4. Dodger dogs for everybody. So 3 hours and 13 fake minutes. 5 runs, 8 hits, an error for L.A. Joe Ferguson drove home 2 runs, including the game winner in the 9th. St. Louis, 4 runs, 12 hits, and no errors. Charlie Huff, he was Huff enough. Inning and 2/3, a hit and 2 strikeouts. Sutton and Welch have minus stuff. I thought they were done after they pulled Welch. Andahar, he is torn up a locker room at Busch Stadium. 8 innings, 5 hits, 3 runs, all earned. The home run to Lopes. He walked 3 and struck out 2. La-dee-dee, la-dee-da. Takes a loss, 2/3 of an inning, 3 hits, 2 runs, both earned. Orel faced 2 batters and walked a man. Sutton, 2 2/3, 8 hits. That was a good game. Yeah, I don't need to get woken up at 3 in the morning again. 8 hits, 3 runs, 2 earned, and 2 strikeouts. Welch had minus stuff, huh? 3 1/3, a hit, a walk, and a strikeout. Routson, inning and a third, 2 hits, a run, and an earned run, a walk, and a strikeout. And Huff got the win. Now, so this series will go the distance. Should at least tell you who the pitchers are going to be. Sunday, noon Eastern. And no, we can't go back to the Game 1 pitchers. I guess it would be Danny Cox for St. Louis. And Tommy John for the Dodgers. So it'll be Danny Cox versus Tommy John Sunday at noon Eastern for the resolution of this first round series. The Dodgers aren't done yet. We'll see you Sunday. Have a good weekend, everybody.